What was a time someone assumed something about you that was completely wrong?
One time in Japan I asked an old lady for directions in Japanese. I was still a beginner but I tried my best to speak in their language rather than asking stuff in English. So this lady assumed I spoke very good Japanese and started chatting. I tried telling her I couldn't understand and everyone else on the bus was trying to hide their laughter. The conversation went on for 10 minutes and I still have no idea what she was saying. She was very nice though.
My ex-wife was convinced I had another family in another state. Simply because she heard a kid's voice in the background when I was traveling for work and sitting in a restaurant once. During divorce depositions, I once spent a full day being questioned, and half the questions were slightly different wordings of, so you have another family, child, spouse, kid, dependent, etc.
A bloke from Scotland thought I was Canadian, rather than naturalized Canadian, and thought the Russian accent was how Canadians speak lol.
I sound like a major nerd and often talk to work contacts for months over the phone before meeting them in person. I've lost count of the number of times someone has told me they thought I had glasses. But my vision is perfect.
People in high school assumed I was gay based on, I'm not actually even sure. And it wasn't even like them being curious, they straight up assigned that sexuality to me and refused to believe otherwise. The things they would use as proof were some of the biggest stretches I've ever heard. One time they took a look at my nails and were like, you paint your nails, you're clearly gay. My nails weren't painted, it just didn't look like I clawed my way out of a hole with my bare hands. I'm sure some of them still think I'm gay years later. The reality of the situation is that I just don't talk about the women I'm interested in openly. It doesn't seem like that should be anyone's business except for mine and the woman in question.
People look at me and think I'm either a marijuana enthusiast or addicted to something. The truth is I've never done anything. I guess I just dress like a skater and for a lot of my life operating on at most 5 hours of sleep.
People in high school spread rumors I was always having sex. I'll be the first to say that nothing could have been farther from the truth, and many girls couldn't even stand me. I have no idea where the rumors came from or how they started. Some of them even made their way to the local civic theater and other high schools. I actually had a couple instances where someone would tell me, fake name used as an example, Sam Holtman from South High said you were having sex with blah blah blah, and I had never met the people mentioned, or even knew anyone from the other school. It happened my last 2 years of high school and it was very surreal. It followed me to my sophomore year of college, but it happened significantly less often.
I live in a very Hispanic Latino area and one woman heard me speak English and yelled at me for not speaking Spanish, calling me a traitor to my ancestors and bringing shame to my past family history in Mexico and Puerto Rico. Imagine her surprise when I told her I was Arab and Middle Eastern. Still felt guilty for not knowing Spanish for some reason LMAO.
When I was in year 9 some girls were talking about who they think have the biggest penises in the class and said that they think I do. I'll leave it at that.
That because I'm Asian there's no way I could possibly have been born in America.
People think I am Hispanic. This has happened a few times, sometimes coming as a direct question and sometimes as people speaking Spanish to me as if I will understand. I don't. I have no idea why, although I am mixed race, white, nez perce, mostly white, I look white as hell. I am shorter than average for a guy so maybe that is part of it, but it's weird.
That I'm a lesbian. Like my whole family thought that. I guess my short colored hair, lack of interests in guys in high school, and eccentric clothes don't help.
That I am clever because I like to read and wear glasses. Then they see my grades and are really surprised.
People assume I am unintelligent because I am quiet. Being quiet doesn't mean I don't have thoughts. I just understand that not everyone needs to hear every thought that comes into my head.
A lot of people assume I work in the trades or have no education because I have a lot of tattoos. I have 4 degrees and work in L&D. A lot of people assume I am a heavy drinker, because I'm Eastern European. I have maybe 10 to 15 alcoholic beverages a year. A lot of people think I am 22-ish. I'm 30. I've had a few people tell me I'm quiet. I just didn't like them and avoided talking to them.
Around the holidays my students often wish me Happy Hanukkah. The exchange usually follows this pattern. Student: Happy Hanukkah, Professor. Me, thanks, happy Hanukkah. Student. Oh, I'm not Jewish. Me, neither am I. But thanks for the sentiment. Happy holidays. I'm a college teacher in a Brooklyn school, so a lot of my students simply assume I'm Jewish.
That I'm gay, which is understandable. I mean, I do definitely seem like it, but I'm asexual, and then when dude found out I wasn't gay he tried to rape me and ended up with a pair of crushed testicles.
Anytime someone assumes I don't speak Spanish because I'm a red-headed güero. I understand everything you're saying about me, Ruben. Bekwase I am African American. People assume my tastes generally are rap music, but I'm actually leaning towards punk, towards old rock, bubble-gum pop, and then some rap music. Not all. Kinda just liking R&B if that's all right with y'all. Oh yeah, don't expect me to be a real anime guy. But yeah, that's a thing. My girlfriend says my demeanor is the main reason why no one sees me as the nerdy black guy anymore. Which is interesting.
When I was younger people assumed that I'm quiet and calm, but actually I was boiling inside every 5 minutes from stupid shit happening around me. I could be quiet but not fucking calm.
Usually my age. I've had people guess 15, 17, and even 12 once. I'm almost 31. Guess I walked into this one. No, I won't be sharing any pics.
People assumed as high school I was eating nothing but junk because I was rapidly gaining weight while my twin wasn't. In truth, I was starving myself because I couldn't figure out why I was gaining weight. It wasn't until my 20s I found out I had a tumor on my thyroid, and that's what caused the weight gain.
I'm a female. It happens at least once a week.
People assume that I am unemployed, poor and therefore uneducated because I always wear the same clothes, drive a small car, and am not very talkative. When I need clothes I buy the same piece 4 to 5 times. I don't feel like bothering about what to wear. My car is exactly as big as necessary. Why should I pay for more? I have 2 different academic degrees and am a freelancer, working mostly from home.
That I am neo-Nazi because I know the Nazis did bad things to Jews, and that I believe in Estelle Labrouse's prophecies because I joke about them. I'm not sure of her name, now. Nope, talking about something doesn't mean you agree with it.
When I was 21 and heavily pregnant, my family thought I was too emotionally fragile and weak when my mother died. It took them a few years to start seeing me as a competent self-sustaining adult instead of an overgrown child. People think I'm super fit and in great shape. I'm not particularly tall and am naturally super skinny. I just am. More recently I have started to put some effort into working out and eating healthier. Because I like to cook and I feel better when I'm eating well and moving. But people still thought I was in great shape in high school and the beginning of college when I was eating fast food constantly and not moving a bit. It honestly got annoying. Genetics, man. Skinny doesn't equal fit. People seem to always want to talk about kneeling for the flag and other stuff because, as a Marine, they assume it pisses me off. Always seem baffled by my response. I serve because of my belief in their right to do that. I'm 29. Even though my username makes me sound like a 14-year-old who just discovered porn.
My very close friend always considered me as soul of the company. I'm introvert AF. I was acting at his wedding like I'm having best fun of my life while I suffered agony inside.
I have a high voice as well as a high vocal range, but people always assume I'm a woman on the phone. It's hilarious when the scam callers say, "Ma'am, you have a virus on your computer," and I lower my voice an octave and proceed to scream monkey noises for a minute and a half until they hang up. Pretty much all the time people assume I will accept their disgusting attitudes and bad behavior and not call them out for it, and every single time they are incorrect.
I've had many friends and even cousins of mine admit they were initially scared or intimidated by me before they got to know me. My teacher asked my mom if I was taking drugs because my eyes were bright, or something. I was not, and my mom knew it, so nothing bad happened but a good laugh. People are always assuming I'm like 10 years younger than I am. I'm in my early 30s and people who don't know me tend to think I'm a college student.
I'm a libertarian. When people hear that I'm a libertarian, they automatically assume the following. 1. I'm conservative. 2. I'm racist. 3. I'm homophobic. 4. I hate poor people. This sucks because if my interracial gay boyfriend of 6 years ever found out that I hate poor people, Then he wouldn't want to be with me during the BLM protests, pride marches.
My age, my sexual orientation, my intelligence, my sanity, and what I do in my free time.
That I'm a pushover. They found out the hard way. Everyone in high school thought I was a stoner because of my long and messy hair and apathetic attitude toward school, but the truth is I didn't even try weed until I was 20.
Someone said I was imposter, but I wasn't. In college I wore Levi's, cowboy boots and button-down shirts all the time. Joined a music fraternity and one of my gay brothers, I'm straight by the way, flat out told me that they thought I was a gay basher because of how I dressed. It really bothered me. I made sure from then on to be more active in the straight against hate movement and to be more mindful of my outward image. I never want to be labeled as a bigot or racist or anything like that.
People assume when they first meet me that I can't get loud and angry or tell raunchy jokes because I'm quiet and usually really kind and polite.
I was at a dinner party and people kept offering me drinks that I continued to decline. Eventually one woman's eyes lit up as she looked between me and my husband, and then she asked, "Oh my gosh, are you pregnant?" Everyone around us got quiet and I laughed and said, "No, I have epilepsy." I was handed no more glasses of wine after that.
My mill assumed I couldn't cook, even though I've been cooking my entire life and enjoy doing it. She always insisted that we go out to eat when they visited, to the extent that she would ruin our family plans because she was that adamant about not eating at our house. Until one time, after about 3 years of being together, my husband refused to eat out and insisted that I cook. After eating, she turned to my husband in surprise and said, "Wow. This is really good. I didn't know she could cook like this." My husband looked her dead in the eyes and said, "That's because you never gave her a chance and she's a better cook than you."
People assume that because I'm an introvert I'm quiet. They learned their lesson when I cussed them out.
Because I am big into health, spurt and spreading love and kindness. I must be an anti-vaxxer. I get this all the time. People assume because I eat and live a healthy lifestyle, I must be against meds. I am vaccinated and all my kids are too. I eat and live healthy because I want to be healthy. If I want to be healthy and live a long life, I am going to vaccinate. One positive thing is I get anti-vaxxers who seek me out to talk about evil vaccines, and I get to smile very big inside as I tell them how pro-vaccines I am. As a kid, around 10 to 15, people were so convinced I was some rude demon child that hated everybody, when in reality I was just depressed and didn't trust people enough to believe they had my best interest at heart, so I just didn't speak law.
This will get buried, I'm sure, but I'm half Latino and completely white looking. I get a lot of racist people spouting their hate against Mexicans and the like since they feel comfortable around other white folks. I always try to work in a clever reveal after their rant and watch them squirm if my comment forces them to realize their fuck up. I started at a new high school my junior year. For starters, I looked like a hippie. I have very long wavy hair and dressed pretty boyish. Everyone, including the school administrators, nuns, assumed I was a drug dealer of sorts. I had never even seen weed or any drug at that point. I got, randomly, chosen for our school's monthly drug test several months in a row and periodically thereafter. People constantly asked me for hookups or where to find hookups. On the plus side, the other hippie types gravitated and became some lifelong friends of mine, though their proximity to me was still suspicious at the time.
Had a friend I was crushing on that I felt liked me too. We were talking online one day and he had to go to work, he says, all BBL, and then get to spend more time with my favorite Asian. I asked, "Who's that?" For as long as I knew him he thought I was Asian. Once he found out I wasn't, he ghosted me.